and welcome to another episode of At the Forefront Fintech Conversations. I'm CJ Lengua, SVP of Account Management at Forefront, and it is my pleasure today to be joined by Mike Higgins, the Global Head of Business Development and CEO of the International Business at Hidden Road Partners. Mike is going to talk to us today about Hidden Road. He's going to tell us about the company's origins, the kinds of business that they're in today. We'll talk a little bit about Hidden Road's most recent product offering, a nice new synthetic prime brokerage called Route 28. And we're going to end with some thoughts on where the business is heading looking ahead and what really sets it apart. So, Mike, thank you so much for your time today. Really excited to have you on the show.
Thanks for having us, CJ.
Awesome. So, Mike, why don't you start by just giving us a little bit of an intro to you, to Hidden Road, just to kind of set the table and get us started on the conversation.
Sounds good. Again, I'm Mike Higgins. I'm the CEO, international CEO and global head of business development at Hidden Road Partners, based in London. As folks are likely aware, Hidden Road's a multi-asset prime broker and clearing firm that was set up and funded by the buy side. So, CJ, really, we're a sell-side business funded with buy-side capital. As head of business development, I'm in charge of the firm's sales, marketing, and distribution efforts. This is cross-asset, cross-product. I joined the firm a little over 5 years ago, where we were just putting the business together. Prior to joining Hidden Road, I spent just shy of 20 years in electronic trading, multi-asset, and a bulk of that was spent in the foreign exchange markets. I'm originally from New York, where I started my career down on Wall Street before moving for work to London in 2009 as part of a team to acquire an options business, and I've been operating here since.
I think we've talked about this before. You're a Yankee fan, right?
I am a Yankee fan. Although I'm from Queens, I'm still a Yankee fan.
That's right. That's right. That must have been very controversial growing up.
Absolutely was.
Well, Mike, it's been a fascinating journey to go from Queens to London to being a partner at Hidden Road and running the international business, global head of business development. You make the city proud. I'm a Brooklyn guy, so keep doing it. Would love to hear a little bit more now about the origins of Hidden Road. I think that what we've seen, obviously, we are very close to you guys. What we've seen sometimes is sort of different interpretations and understandings. Let's let Mike Higgins set the record straight. What is the origin story of Hidden Road? How'd you guys get started? What was the problem that you were trying to solve, and how'd you get involved?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, PB clearing and margin financing is a critical part of the infrastructure for any trading firm. Credit is effectively the lifeline of these businesses. The incumbents that built their PB and clearing businesses were done over 30 years ago, really as a facilitation business for some of the largest franchise clients. However, in the past decade or so, we've seen several of these players reviewing their clearing businesses and the associated return on invested capital. They've been comparing their clearing businesses to other businesses, run inside the banks, which tend to have a higher return on capital. And so that's led to many exiting that space, leaving this gap in such a critical function, but also a real opportunity for a modern prime broker to step into the space to really help the street. And that's what we've been working on at Hidden Road for the last couple of years.
Got it. So where are you now?
Yeah, I mean, look, over the last 5 years, we've done a couple things. We've set up a series of entities around the world. We've worked hard with local regulators to get those entities regulated. In parallel, we wrote a horizontal clearing infrastructure using modern technologies and techniques kind of from high-frequency trading, and we bolted that into a clearing business. That's important, CJ, as it allows us to have a real-time, holistic view of a counterparty's risk, cross-asset, cross-product. And so fully focused on prime, clearing, margin financing. We don't have any conflicts of interest with our clients. We don't run any sort of trading desk. There's no prop positions. And we certainly are not in the business of selling data. So the firm is purely dedicated, again, to that area and really to help clients in that space. The team is now expanded to over 150 people around the world. We have a few hundred clients and cleared over $3 trillion of flow last year in 2023.
It's a nice round number. So tell us, what products did you start with? A lot of times we see folks in the press, crypto PB, Hidden Road.
It seems to be in vogue, really, digital assets. But actually,
that's not really the story, though, right?
Look, the original part of the business and the focus of the firm is truly multi-asset, and so we'll describe that a little bit further. But to your question, CJ, where we started in the foreign exchange markets. Frankly, the prime space there was pretty low hanging fruit to step into that space. The team has decades of experience in the foreign exchange markets. In fact, the vice chairman of the firm is the gentleman who created FX Prime Brokerage in the late 90s to help solve an issue for one of the biggest trading firms in the world. And so, as one of the largest banks in PBs pulled out of FXPB a few years ago, there was a big opportunity to step into that business. So that business for us, FX Prime Brokerage, has been in production for nearly 4 years. We clear tens of billions of dollars a day in spot and Tomnex. We'll continue to expand the suite of FX products in our PB offering as we continue to get more and more demand for the product and the asset class. About 2.5 years ago, some very large institutions came to us that were looking to come into the digital asset space. And they analyzed the market and realized they need a digital prime broker. That market structure kind of looked like FX in the late 90s pre-PB. It was all bilateral. It was filled with counterparty credit risk and settlement risk, or what we refer to in foreign exchange markets as Harrostat risk. And it was really a capital inefficient market structure that required a prime broker to step in. So they came to us as one of the only modern prime brokers to help us build that out, which we did. We are now the largest regulated digital asset prime broker clearing firm in the world, clearing a material percentage of the global crypto market. But again, the story is not all about digital assets. Started in FX, digital, jumped in. That again is in vogue. But more recently, we launched our FCM and became a general clearing member on the CME, one of the newest clearing members in the CME in decades. And then more recently, I think you alluded to it, we launched a multi-asset swap platform called Route 28, which is currently launched out of our FCA UK entity here in London.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that. So I think we announced it a couple of months ago, right? What is Route 28? I don't know if it's a regional pronunciation.
Route 28, Route 28. I don't know if it's my New York or my British that I'll go with. Sometimes we refer to it as R28, or the shorter acronym. So R28 is simply the name of a swap offering that we run through our UK entity. The origins of the name go back to the founder. It was the crossroad of where Hidden Road and Route 28 met. And so folks who are familiar with the Northeast, they might have an idea. But it's effectively a synthetic prime business. It's offering swaps across multiple asset classes, including equity indices, commodities, foreign exchange, rates, and digital assets. The product is something that the firm has been working on since the early inception of the firm, so that's close to 5 years. Now, it started in digital, and it's expanding to these other ones. Take digital for a second, right? The market came to us and said, this current market structure is inefficient. It's highly unregulated. It's traded across a number of unregulated exchanges. And so many blow-ups later, the institutions that asked us to build a digital business came back and said, kind of enough is enough. We'd like to have digital on TradFi type of infrastructure, regulatory setup. What would you guys think about that? And so we started to kind of look at what that would be. And we had all the regulatory licenses to offer regulated swaps. We actually had built out all of the regulatory reporting to venues like DTCC and UniVista. But as a prime broker, we're really post-trade, so we didn't have a front-end platform for execution. The timing coincided with the launch of a partner of ours called Crossover Markets and their spot crypto ECN called CrossX. And so we had a call with them and said, what would it look like if we took an instance of your matching engine, our regulated licenses, and put multiple swaps on this starting in digital assets? And so that's really the origins of how Route 28 came to be. So, quick mark to market, we're live in the digital side of that. That's growing now. Equity indices and commodity swaps are scheduled for later this month. So we have a pretty decent roster of names that are coming on. And then we've also kind of got a lot of demand to build bespoke swap products. And that's the beauty of a swap offering, is you can really tailor products. So to give you an example, CJ, with the recent release of US Bitcoin ETF, we've been asked for Bitcoin ETFs on swap. And so again, these are pretty easy products for us to launch multiple asset classes on swap. And so we're excited to continue building that out.
Yeah, that's really cool. Really, really cool. So with that, with the foundations laid, lots to come, right? It would love for you to tell us a little bit about where Hidden Road is going, and sort of, the flip side of that is we'd love to hear what really sets you guys apart. So, we've heard about the journey, the latest offerings, and sort of the near-term enhancements. Let's talk a little bit about, the sort of next wave and why it's so different and special.
Yeah, I mean, CJ, look, we generally keep a low profile, right? The saying here is, well done is better than well said, and so we've just focused on building a prime clearing business, and really curious about problems in and around that space and how we can solve those for clients. But third-party credit providers or prime brokers like Hidden Road, we're really providers of access. And so we provide access to different liquidity destinations, depending on the asset class. That could be OTC markets, regulated venues, ECNs, et cetera. And so the goal there is to provide access to more and more destinations across more and more asset classes. In addition, a prime broker's role is to provide access to deep pools of financing. And it's the combined access from a prime broker like Hidden Road that allows institutions to execute various trading strategies across the entire ecosystem in a capital and cost-efficient way. And so in short, Hidden Road, we tend to do well as a prime broker when fragmentation's a theme. Specifically, the trading firms benefit even more from a prime broker as they thrive off fragmentation and global pricing. And so summing it up, what sets Hidden Road apart is that our entire business is dedicated and focused on partnering with clients to really understand those problems, and ultimately help solve those problems and provide them a way to scale their business and frankly improve their bottom line revenues.
Amen. Partnership, solving problems. You might say, if that's all you knew about Forefront and Hidden Road, that we might be in the same line of business.
But prime brokerage doesn't get as glory as trading, but I'd say it's more like plumbing. It's necessary and it's part of the infrastructure. So we're certainly excited about where we're going, and the year so far is shaping up well.
That's awesome. Awesome. Mike, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy guy. You've got places to be. Just want to, of course, once again, say thank you to Mike. Also want to say thank you to the audience for listening. You heard it straight from the source here. Mike Higgins, Global Head of BD and CEO of the International Business at Hidden Road. If you'd like to learn more about Hidden Road, you can visit them online, hiddenroad.com. And if you want to learn more about Forefront or watch earlier episodes of our podcast, visit us at forefrontcoms with 2 M's.com.